Hi, I'm Jessica Bolton, and this is the Daily Mirror's Jess Saying Live. And tonight, coming back to our screens at last, it's strictly the Real Full Monty. And I am joined today by one of its brave new recruits this year. It's Love Island star Teddy Soares. Hello, Teddy.
Hello. How you
Thank you.
doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
Really,
having me.
really.
Thank you.
And just for anyone that was looking beforehand, I know we said Demi would be here. She had a sort of personal emergency last minute, but Teddy is here with us, which we're very, very, very excited about. So it's tonight. It's back on screen. What did you think when you got the phone call for this, Teddy?
It was literally so soon after I'd come out of the villa. And there's a few other bits and pieces that I had phone calls about, and this just it jumped out at me straight away because a lot has happened with cancer in terms of my family, and it really affected my immediate family in many ways, and one when I was 13. So I felt humbled. I was a bit speechless at first when management told me about it, but yeah, now that I've lived through it, I've just feel a sense of relief, a sense of liberation, as you would when you strip off in front of God knows how many people. But it was amazing. It was an amazing experience to have been called up for.
It really is, and I mean, I'll come to the serious reasons behind it first. But first off, I mean, for people that haven't watched it before, it's now in its fourth year, I think it is, and you know, you're stripping off in aid of cancer research and cancer awareness, but it's a great group of you, celebrity wise, and this year it's got a bit of a Strictly theme as well, hasn't it? So, what did you have to do? Tell me a little bit about it.
Do you know when the first day in camp when I met absolutely everyone, and this includes the team at ITV and Spun Gold, it was just completely, I was in awe. You know, I've met Martin, I've met Layla, you know, Brenda, Duncan, Jane, Colin, everyone that I met completely, even Christine. I've grown up watching and seeing everyone on TV.
Yeah.
So I was a bit starstruck when everyone was sort of getting in the room together, and you know, it just speaks volumes at how obviously cancer just completely affects anyone and everyone of all ages, creed, and everything. So when I was with the team, I think fear is the best way to describe what I thought of the whole process, because I'd never really spoke about my experience, much less, you know, learning from diversity to dance and you know, trying to mimic dancing like diversity. It's no easy feat. And I'm still not there yet. So
I bet it's not. And just to run through for some of the people that will be watching tonight, the people you're in it with include obviously Ashley Banjo and Colleen Nolan that have been doing it every year, plus Christine McGuinness, as you said, Colin Jackson, Brenda Edwards from Loose Women, Layla Morse, who's obviously Big Mo in EastEnders, and James and Ola Jordan, Martin Roberts from Homes Under the Hammer, and Duncan James, of course. So, I mean, there's a lot of great names there that you've probably, like you say, you saw when you were younger. And obviously you've got the boy band Duncan kind of knows how to move around the stage. Ashley obviously knows how to move around the stage. Now, if we can just show this picture here, this is the moment you have to do the actual Full Monty bit. Can you just tell me what it's like being on stage, knowing you're being filmed, holding that little hat, thinking, I must not drop this, I imagine.
Do not drop the soap. That's pretty much what was going through my mind. And you've got to imagine, Faye and my entire family was sat pretty much at the front as well. Well, they were at the front. So I've got eyes on much less the entire audience as well. But to kind of see Faye and my mum's head in front of me, whilst knowing that I've got to secure this hat in position, yeah, I was lost at that moment, but do you know what? I think it was just unreal in that moment when it came to actually getting to that final piece of clothing and actually whipping it off. It was just, yeah, it was liberating. It was definitely liberating.
Did at any point you think, ooh, should I really have signed on for this right now? Or you know, was there any point where you thought, should I back out? Have I got time to just literally?
I think the first day, I'll be honest, I thought, what have I got myself in for at this point? But it always circled back to why we all are here.
Yeah.
And, you know, Layla was a big tribute to kind of making certainly me feel comfortable, and James as well, because James has a very similar story to me. So I think every single time you had that thought process, the team was so amazing because each and every individual played a part to making you feel comfortable, or vice versa, you making them feel comfortable, and just reminding ourselves of why we're all there. It was fun, but there was a lot of sorrow as well.
There was a lot of emotional side of it. I mean, because it's very cathartic to do and talk about your personal experiences there. It's obviously, it was filmed already for people that, you know, maybe were wanting to watch tonight. So you've been through that. You've done the performance, as you say, and we heard
yes,
that poor Layla ended up in a wheelchair, didn't she?
Oh my God, yeah. And this is credit to diversity, because if you can imagine what probably would have been going through Ashley's mind when she injured herself, literally a couple of hours before we're all due to go on set, and do the performance live in front of everyone whilst everyone's pretty much arriving in Blackpool. It's like, credit to Ashley. And I think everyone felt a sense of, we really need to do this, especially for her. Because obviously she'd worked so hard. She'd pushed everyone throughout camp when she was like, you know, she was so free and comfortable with getting everything off, as mad as it sounds. So yeah, it was a real team effort when she hurt herself. Everyone was so concerned.
How did she do it? Was it in the training? Was it?
Yeah, it was in training camp. She rolled her ankle, unfortunately. And I think everyone was just familiarizing themselves with the stage and getting used to the stage. And then unfortunately she had the accident. And I think everyone initially thought, yeah, do you know what? She's gonna be able to do it. She should be fine. And then it came to the moment where she couldn't actually put any pressure on her ankle. But, you know, again, like I say, Ashley and the diversity boys definitely made it work.
Yeah, exactly. You don't think it's just because she wanted a better view?
Exactly. She just wanted to basically sit down, get a different angle, and just make sure she had everything in full view.
Like she was going to be missing from watching from the back. And we've got a question here, Zainab. What was the funniest part of training within all the hard work?
Oh my God. I was going to say initially, just to, the first thing that shot my mind was seeing Martin dance. But no, I think the thing that was the funniest moment was when Ashley made us do individual freestyles, literally get up in front of everyone and freestyle. And that, for me, that was funny, because everyone did their own little bit.
Like, you just come in, you just met everyone, and you had to do a bit of freestyle.
Yeah, it was an icebreaker, but it was a funny icebreaker, because everyone's just literally just. And by the way, he chose random music as well, so it wasn't like it was, you know, actually, can I have that song? It's the latest trending song right now. It was just random. So yeah, that was funny. It was good. It definitely was a good icebreaker.
What song did you get, and did you have the moves?
I'll tell you what, it's a song that I don't even know, so I can't even tell you. It was that random, and I just thought to myself, I'm just gonna picture I'm in a bar somewhere, the music is just completely different from what Ashley's playing. If I'm off tune, it is what it is. I'm just gonna enjoy myself, and you know what, we just did it, and it was good. It was good.
And I'm not doing it in front of Big Mo from EastEnders. You just get that out of your mind.
Get that out of my mind. Don't even have any eye contact whatsoever. Look up.
We've got another question here. Again, Roseo saying, is it physically harder than you thought it would be? And what is the hardest physical part?
Definitely. I mean, when I started dancing and getting the instructions from Ashley, I just thought, wow. I mean, it feels like I've never ever danced in my entire life, and I've got two left feet. And if you've been like myself and you've always watched diversity throughout
Yeah.
their complete come up from when they started, you would know that diversity don't play games. When
No.
they're dancing, they are dancing.
No, I take you were putting yourself on a skill level with them when you started at this.
Say that again?
How good are you at dancing normally? Are you okay? Are you terrible? What's your skill level?
Jesus, when I first started the show, and do you know what? When I was speaking to the team at Full Monty, I thought I was 10 out of 10. But Ashley quickly showed me that I wasn't. So,
quickly showed you're more like 5 out of 10 or something.
Yeah, back in the classroom, it was literally a case where you step up to the front of the classroom. I know the answer, and it's like, get back.
No, obviously, on the sort of fun side of this, I think we have a clip of when you got told some of the things that you're going to wear during your routine. Let's have a little look.
No. Safe to say I've never put a thong on before. I'm going to feel like Borat at the end of this.
Something I find really, really sexy about you.
I mean, in terms of being naked, I love walking around the house naked. But now I have to be a shower, not just a grower.
Oh yeah. That's going in the show on ITV prime time. I love it. Now, I've got several questions from that. First of all, did any of you decide you were going to put anything down your little thongs? Was there any stock situations going on from any of the guys?
I remember when I got that delivery, and I genuinely thought it'd be breakfast. So when I saw it, I thought, oh my, I'm gonna just look like a different kind of Tarzan in this thong. What is going on? But yeah, I've never ever worn a thong in my entire life, people. So when I saw that thong, the color of it, the patterns, the leopard print, oh my word. I honestly, at that point, I felt like jumping out the window. I just thought to myself, I can't bring myself to put this on. What my boy's gonna think. Yeah, it was mad.
And I love a bit. You walk around the house naked normally, do you? Is this something you do now? I mean, for those that don't know, you and Faye came 4th in the competition. Robbed.
Third.
Sorry, Teddy. I remember you being robbed, and I think I've just traumatized it somewhere below. I forgot. But yes, you came 3rd in the competition, obviously behind Toby and Chloe and Millie and Liam. And you're still together now. You've moved into a lovely house together. So are you just walking around the house naked now? Is this one of your hobbies?
Pretty much. When Faye's sister's here right now, and I've got to hold myself back.
Yeah. Why?
Because literally, it's just a thing that I like, just being free. Apparently. So yeah, and the worst thing is, behind my door there is an actual house coat. There's a house coat I can just whip on, but I just prefer to walk straight past it and just be naked.
I can see why this show appealed to you then.
Yeah.
I can really see. No, obviously with the show is a very, very serious point, as we sort of talked about before, and we mentioned, and it's obviously all in aid of cancer research and raising awareness around cancer, people getting checked, and being very aware. And I know you have a very personal reason, because you sadly lost your father when you were just 13, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
I think we have a little clip here where you're sharing this with James Jordan on the show. So if we can just show the little clip here.
Mm-hmm.
The dinner party, mate, when you shared your story, which thank you for that, because it was so powerful. It just reminded me of when I was younger. I was 13 when my dad passed away of cancer,
13.
Yeah. My first memory of my dad being ill was when, I saw one of those cardboard bowls that you get in a hospital, and I would always hear him just throwing up in it. So that was that's what sticks when I think about my dad being ill of cancer. Because we didn't actually know at the time that he had cancer. My brothers.
They didn't tell you?
Didn't tell us. So I initially thought that he was just sick. The last time we saw him, we didn't have any indication that it was severe and he wasn't going to come back.
I am so sorry to hear that. It's awful what you went through. But I know you were saying this was sort of a cathartic process. You've never really spoken about this before, have you? Was it very difficult to open up?
Yeah, very much so, because when I was going through school, literally there was one person, two people out of the entire school of 150 plus kids in our year. And I think knowing that, you get questions from teachers, parents' evening, I'm going to tell your mum and dad, you guys have been up to something naughty, blah, 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 blah. And there's constant reminders when you're going through school. And yeah, I mean, at the time it was heart-wrenching for my entire family. The thing that was a saving grace for us was obviously how close we were. My little sister was pretty much born 2 to 3 months after my dad passed away as well. So she's pretty much a godsend for the entire family to distract us from, the reality of what was taken away from us. And it was just painful. It was so painful because my dad was my superhero. It was a lot. It was a lot.
And you wear his chain, don't you?
I remember coming out of the villa and I saw a comment or an article of why does Teddy always wear the same chain? And I think self-consciously, I don't even realize that I'm kind of always wearing it, go to bed with it. It's just, I know in my heart of hearts that, this is passed down by my mum from my dad. And is just close to my heart. So even when I have something important, again, like Full Monty, it will be very close to me because I feel like I have his support with me, just always. And it's, I explain the same thing to James. It's almost like my mantelpiece. And it's my thing to always remember that he is there. He's always going to impact my life in many ways and none. And I'm here because of him. So, he's definitely always going to remain.
Something close as a sort of reminder to make you feel like, he's there with you all the time and everything. I'm sure he would have been so proud of what you've done on this.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
It was amazing, and it's so brave to talk about it because I know, if it's a sort of very personal thing like that, and you didn't share it, you didn't talk about it on Love Island. Obviously, you've waited to the right time to share it and help other people out there who, I'm sure there's a lot of other sort of kids might have been going through a similar thing, and it must be heartbreaking. I don't even understand how you began to process it, but did this sort of help you sort of mentally process it as such?
The whole Full Monty process was epic for me because James, like I said earlier, is going through a very similar story to myself, but the only difference is that he was a lot older, and as you rightly said, there's a lot of kids out there that may potentially be going through it, but there's also a lot of adults and just everybody around the world going through the exact same thing I went through when I was 13 every single day. So the Full Monty process just helped me realize and put into perspective that, you do have a voice, and so does everybody else that is still going through the grievous process of cancer. And yes, cancer is absolutely terrible. And I'm just absolutely grateful to have gone through the process and actually realized how far I've come. And actually realized that if there's at least one person that watches this show and gets the awareness from the show and realize actually this is how Teddy, James, and everyone on the cast has dealt with their own pain, then I think we're all winning. So hopefully tonight at 9 o'clock, when people are tuning in, they will find some value from everything that we all went through in the last couple of weeks.
And what about your family? What about your mum and your brothers and sister? What have they? They must be so proud that you've done this, and in honor of your dad.
Yeah, I remember when I actually stripped off, and I was looking at them on stage, and you can see their faces. I know my family off the back of my hand, and their emotions in their face, and even looking at Faye as well. It was. Yeah, I could see how proud they were, and it really did give me a sense of, liberation, and it's made me feel as though, like you said, that my dad will be proud of what I've done in a weird way, and I almost could kind of feel him at my back, almost smiling, and there was just a warm, chilling feeling when everybody was on stage, and we'd all realised that, my God, we've done it. And my family, my mum is absolutely looking forward to tonight, because she said herself, she's aware that we didn't really speak about it as a family, other than privately when we came home, and if someone broke down, we would all console each other. But we never really sort of randomly asked, how are you feeling today about the situation? We all had our own ways of dealing with it. In the whole family household. So yeah, it's going to be amazing to see my family watch the entire process, not just the dance,
and not just and see the whole emotional sort of journey that you went on through it. And I think one of the things that touched me in that clip is you saying that you didn't really realize what was wrong at the time because you were only 13 and you didn't really know what it was, and you found out afterwards, and that must have been heartbreaking to have to learn that afterwards. I mean, when did you sort of realize, oh my gosh, this is what it is, and this is what's happened, and there's nothing you can do that by then,
Yeah, it was at the point we found out that my dad passed away, and the thing is, because cancer is so it's massive. There's so many different variants and variations of cancer. I was still learning about it as I was grieving. So it wasn't like I was told it was broken down and then I suddenly knew everything about cancer. It's constant. It's still going on now. It's in my life now. So I'm still learning even more things about cancer. And that's why the show was so helpful, because, the likes of Demi, for example, she was actually fighting through cancer whilst even being on Love Island. So I think learning people's coping mechanisms and learning more about cancer has just constantly happened throughout my entire life. And the specific cancer that took my dad away, that again, there's moments in my life where I tend to kind of block that bit of information out.
I know that you haven't said what it was, so yeah, you sort of block that out.
Yeah, it's just something that, I even explained it to Faye before. Whenever I remember my dad, I remember him as, the big guy who always went to the gym, as a superhero figure. I never ever remember my dad in the moments where he actually lost weight through the chemotherapy, and it's strange because people would more than likely sort of look at it and think, oh my God, he's gone through a drastic weight change. He's now walking with a cane, and that would be your last memory. But no, for me, it's always all the positive memories of my dad is kind of at the forefront of my mind. So yeah, I think that's probably my coping mechanism more than anything.
Exactly, and that's the way it should be as well, because that's who he was. Not that's the other is the illness. So that's you focus on that and the lovely memories that you had, and that's a great way of dealing with it, and a great message for other people out there who are maybe trying to cope through something similar. Has this made you very aware of getting checked regularly and things like that? Is that a message that you want to send to your fans?
Yeah, 100%. I had the conversation, strangely enough, with my brother literally 2 days ago, and he was talking about doing a full sort of MOT in general, and I was, I was a firm advocate for anyone that is listening and anyone that's watching tonight. It's so important to get yourself checked because, I understand it. There is a lot to consider in your own mind when you think to yourself, I'm going to go to the doctors and I'm going to go and find out whether or not there could potentially be any bad news with yourself and your body. And having the bravery to go and do it is is something that I think everyone needs to do on a regular basis. COVID, cancer, everything that the world is experiencing right now is a huge testament that everyone needs to take their own health very, very seriously.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point. You've got to don't put your head in the sand. If you are worried about something, get it checked out. Like I mean, Demi was sort of saying that she went and got a lump checked out, and she's obviously had been through a very long journey and is still on it. So it's something that you've got to do, even though it's like, it's very easy for people to go, I'm just going to ignore it. But it is important, even in these sort of COVID times, not to do that, which is part of the big message of the show. And why you were having to, it's the comedy side of the show that you've got to do the full Monty to get this strong message across. But it does put a smile on people's face. And I think it's a very effective way of talking about these serious subjects, whilst also being able to sort of, make everyone sort of smile a little bit as well. Because, I mean, it is at the end of the day quite a sort of big ridiculous ask to ask you to do, is to strip off in front of millions on primetime TV. So I mean, my big question is, what did Faye say when you said, Faye, I'm going to strip off on telly? And because I loved you two in the villa, as I said before we came on, and what I love about Faye is that she just tells it as it is, and she says what she is. What she does do as well, though, is she does have a little bit of a jealous streak occasionally, in the nicest of possible ways, as we saw on Love Island. So what did she say when you told her?
It was so funny because her face was a picture in itself, and her comment was, I'm definitely going to be there because there's no way you are stripping off in front of everyone without me being there. So she was always, I maintain that she was always supportive throughout the entire process. I think with Faye, there's always good intentions at heart with Faye. So when I explained my whole, my whole pretty much trauma of my dad passing away when I was younger, she was there. She was there to comfort me, and she was there to really understand that this is a lot bigger than just stripping off in front of people. So she just quickly registered that straight away. And I think the easiest way for her to deal with it was being in the room.
Being like, right, everyone, hands off, eyes off my Teddy.
Exactly. I think if she could be up there and blocking the whole view, she probably would have done. But she was a good sport about the whole thing, the whole show.
To be honest, it's not the first time you've done a striptease, is it? Because we saw a little bit of a striptease when you did Love Island. You all had to do that challenge where you're in the sailor suit and you did the whole striptease thing. So you're getting to be a bit of a pro at this now. Are we going to?
One might say I should get a job, to be honest. Magic Mike, here I come.
Oh, and also, little convenient photo popped up here. Not too shy about stripping off on your Instagram either, are you?
Wow, do you know what? That photo just shows me I definitely need to get back in the gym. But yeah. Was there a bit of competition between the boys? Or about when you take your tops off, was it a bit like, oh look, who's got the best six pack? Was there any of that going on? No, not. I think we were more we were comforting each other more than anything. I think I did get a few digs, obviously already being someone that was pretty much half naked on live television anyway. So, so I was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to be very comfortable getting my kit off. Not the case. You know, when we went through the boot camp, I was very, very reluctant to get the boxers off. I did not want my boxers to leave my body. But I think when it came to, you know, Martin had his own feeling about not wanting to do it. James as well had his own feeling of not wanting to do it. But we all, like you say, we all came together as a family and pretty much kind of comforted each other to make each other feel more comfortable. Because even me myself, I mean, I went into the villa, I looked one way, I've come out, and I haven't had as much time as I probably would have had to go into the gym. So mentally, I also had to prepare myself to actually get everything off, because the whole world is watching, really. So, you know, there'd be a few digs and whatnot, but I always try and drown out the noise anyway. So, yeah, I was ready to go, to be honest.
It wasn't like, get the call, crikey, right, I'm in the gym every day now until the show. I love it. Well, you know. Oh, can you hear us? Are we having a little bit of a...
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, the signal just kind of dropped out a little bit.
Wi-Fi, yeah. So what I was going to say was, what are you actually... Question I always have every time I watch this. What are you actually wearing in the end? Do you at least get to have like a little modesty thong?
What, in the end when everything comes off?
Yeah. Do you not have like a little modesty thong that they have on the you know, film sets?
It's all out there. It's literally all out there. I mean, I remember as soon as I finished, I went to go and see Faye, give her a cuddle, give her a hug. The first thing she said was, I saw everything. I was like, huh? Oh my God, no way. Literally. So yeah, everything is out there for the world to see. But I think obviously on television tonight or tomorrow, I think you probably see it. Well, hopefully you won't see it. Everything should be covered up. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping. I think
you'll be all right, because it's still only 9 p.m. So I think it might be a bit much to do that. But obviously the lucky people in the audience definitely got an eyeful, including your mum. So, I mean, I know she's seen it before when you were a baby, but I mean, crikey. No, the other thing.
I think my mum would be thinking, damn, that thing has grown a little bit.
I love it. Did you also, was it also that thing of like, don't look at anyone else? Don't look at anyone else. You cannot be seen looking in any direction at all, because Faye is sitting right there. So...
Yeah, literally straight ahead. Do not turn left. Do not turn right. You don't want any problems. No, not at all. I think when it came to that final moment, we still embraced everyone, because it's easy to, I say it's easy, but when you're doing it in rehearsals, you kind of get it all off, and you know, you have an awkward moment of, oh my God, we've just done it, but you don't feel quite as liberated when you do it in front of everyone. You've just smashed the routine, you've done everything that you were supposed to do right, and then, you know, in the end, everything comes off. So we all really embraced the fact that we have just literally, we're naked in front of everyone right now. So there is that moment where we kind of give each other a hug at some sort of distance. Make sure you're still covered up. But you don't want to get too it's not like my head was completely fixed on Faye.
It was like, what would you have felt if Faye had said she was doing it? You're very relaxed, actually. You were very chill with her all the time.
I think I would have lost all composure, I'll be honest. No, I'd be just as supportive, because I think we support each other so well, and the way that we have always communicated, I think the way that she was with me, I would have been exactly the same with her, with just a hint of some jealousy as well. I wanted to find out who exactly she's dancing with, the whole shebang. I would have dropped her to training, picked her up. Yeah, I would have been calm. I would have been proud.
You're not quite as calm as you came across on Love Island then. Like, I mean, that was one of the most, that was one of the bits. I think I was sat on the TV going, oh my gosh, no, Faye, when you came back in from Casa Amor and you put the little teddy bear down on the floor. Honestly, you want to make me cry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am calm to a point. I think my brother always describes that level of my calmness is just off the scale. So in the moments, I am so calm because I support those that I love regardless, and I always put them first. So yeah, if she was to do it, I would definitely just support her to the hilt.
Definitely support. Now, and obviously you've now got your house together, which is amazing. You're doing like you know, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure how long you two would last, and it's fantastic that you're still together because I think you're such a cute couple and balance each other out well, and such a genuine couple as well. Just, you know, what you said before, it just I really was big fans of both of you. I thought Faye was great by, you know, just talking and speaking her mind. So what's it like now? You're sort of cohabiting and it's sort of full on. You know, are we going to? Oh, carry on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, are we going to see maybe a little baby in the future, like you had the one on the show that was on your shoulders? I think I had a little picture of it somewhere.
Well, hopefully not the one on the show, because the one on the show was mad, and obviously Faye was running away a lot of the time. So, but no, I think the first step would be the nice, you know, ring on the finger more than anything. But you know, we've talked of it, we've talked about kids, and I know she wants kids. She knows I want kids. So we do also have one eye in the future, but there's so much going on at present. I mean, look behind me. You can see all the filler on the wall right now that needs patching up. So like, there's so much that we're doing right now to make sure that we have a lovely home. And every time we walk in, we just, I've said it before, when we walk in, we appreciate that this is our home. And we've always said to each other, like, she's my home and I'm her home. So I think the future is looking good. Let's say the future is definitely looking good.
It is, and I'm hoping soon it won't be too long before like a little bit of, you know, engagement news. Not to put the pressure on, Teddy, but I did just totally put the pressure on.
You sound like my mum. I'll be honest. You definitely sound like my mum.
Indeed. But no, it's lovely that you two are doing so well, and you know, she's been so supportive on this, and you're having a lovely time. We saw the picture there of you and looking at little horses and stuff out in the country, because you're down in Devon, aren't you, at the moment?
No, so where we're living, I don't want to obviously say where we're living.
Oh, no.
It's somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. I wondered how you were going to manage it. Yeah. I wondered how you were going to manage it between her sort of Devon roots that she didn't want to leave, and then you were sort of saying she was going to sort of come up half the week, wasn't she, and then go back, and then. But I'm so pleased you've got like a nice place together now, and you've got that now. So yeah, fingers crossed it's going to be good news in the next few years. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is with me and her, the age that we're both at, not to say that we're old because we're still very young, but
please do not say you're old.
Yeah, we both have old heads on us anyway, so we're not in this relationship for 2 minutes. You know, I've not made her my girlfriend without, you know, already knowing in mind that she's got the qualities of someone that I would want forever. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the future is looking good.
And just quickly, do you see any of the others still from the villa?
Who did I see recently? So I haven't seen the others as much as I would like to, but you know, I did. For example, I had a Jack Will shoot. I did invite a few of the Love Islanders. Unfortunately, for their own commitments, they couldn't make it. But you know, we are still in contact with each other. But I personally would love to see him as much more than much more than I haven't, unfortunately, been able to. But I haven't even been able to see the likes of my family as much as I would like to, and my friends who I would usually sort of see quite frequently. So it's just finding that fine balance. Finding that fine balance is quite difficult at the moment.
Exactly. Well, it's so busy, and with COVID, and with having to strip off on TV, it's just not getting the time, Teddy. Just don't have the time.
Tell me about it.
They'll all see a lot more of you tonight and tomorrow night. Anyway, let's put it that way. So
hopefully not too much.
Yeah, hopefully not too much. It's been absolutely brilliant talking to you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. You're an absolute delight, and give my love to Faye. And
I will do.
And it's fantastic. So it's tonight, if everyone's watching, 9 p.m. ITV, and also tomorrow, same time, for the second part. All right. Thank you, Teddy.
Thank you for having me again. It was lovely speaking to you. And everyone, please tune in tonight.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.